Hi everyone, this is Mindy Eggen and welcome to my channel. I'm excited to share with you the products from the February 2024 release for Concord 9th. First, I want to show you the brand new colors being released this month. They are so super gorgeous. We have, starting from the right, Wild Berry, Watermelon, Creamsicle, Grasshopper, Eucalyptus, and Rainforest. Now, these colors are absolutely my jam because to me they are very jewel toned, and that is more kind of my theme when it comes to colors. I'm not much of a pastel person, so I am absolutely in love with these, and I use them on quite a few of my projects today. So they're releasing the cardstock, the ink pads, and also they have enamel dots to match the colors. And the ink pads are foam pads, so they give really good coverage when you're stamping. Now, if you remember when they released their colors before, they came out with a swatch book and stamp set so you could swatch out and stamp the names of your inks, and they have one for the new colors as well. Another thing being released is this paper pad, which I put back into the packaging upside down, but this is their 2024 color collection pack. You are getting 18 sheets and there are a bunch of designs in the brand new colors. These designs are really great. They're basics and they just are good for making backgrounds or die cutting from. You're going to see these on some of my card projects that I'll share today. So I did the introduction videos for Concord 9th over on their YouTube channel this month. So this is why I have a bunch of the product and cards to share with you. This is their brand new Contempo Turnabout stamp set. You can use this stamped 1, 2, 3, or 4 times for a complete background. Here are some background ideas that I did. The first one on the left is in Grasshopper all 4 times. The second one is 3 times stamped in Rainforest, Eucalyptus, and Grasshopper. And the last one is Creamsicle, Watermelon, Aqua Sky, and Grasshopper. So I did make a couple cards using this new Turnabout stamp set. This one, I love this color combination. This one is Wild Berry, Creamsicle, Watermelon, and Eucalyptus. And then I used a stamp and die set from the Primrose garden set. Now this one is another favorite. I stamped it in Pebble ink only 1 time and it makes such a great subtle background. So for this one, I finished it off with a sentiment from the All Together die set, which is an alphabet set, and then a sentiment off of the Bunch of Balloons stamp set. Next is the All Together alphabet dies. So this one you are getting the whole uppercase and whole lowercase on their own each die, if that makes sense. Each of them is 1 die. And what it's going to do is you're going to be able to cut out all of those letters at one time. One thing I really love about this is you are getting some of the most popular letters like A's and R's and S's. You're getting multiples of those on the sheet. So that way you don't have to sit and run it through a million times if you need 2 Y's or, well, I did that in different colors, but if you need multiples of your vowels and things like that, they work out really well. Now this is the one where I use the pattern paper pack to die cut out my letters. So that is a really fun look. I also have kind of this piercing design behind it, which is off the Primrose garden set. Another thing you can do with your alphabet dies is offset it so you can create your own shadow layer. So on this one where I used a balloon stencil, I did the word party in black and white letters and then offset it to create that shadow. Alphabet dies, you don't realize how much you need them or how fun they are until you actually have them in your stash. They are such a great way to make a sentiment really pop off of the front of your card. You can add dimension to them and you can customize your sentiments. I also think it's a really fun look to mix and match the uppercase and lowercase letters. This next die is the Empire Inlay card front die. Typically, I am not a huge inlay fan because I don't usually have patience for it, but this die, it's so worth it. The designs that it creates are so beautiful. And then when you're done doing the inlay, you run your hand over it and it's just a very satisfying feeling. Now, I will point out for doing this, I'm going to suggest you get yourself some press and seal. It is going to be your absolute best friend. So it's going to hold all of these pieces in place. I'm also suggesting double-sided adhesive sheets. I talk about it on my blog. Those two products, if you have them in your stash, are going to be very helpful for this. When I ran this die through my die cutting machine with its cardstock, most of the pieces stayed in place. So I flipped the die over and I placed press and seal on the back and then just kind of popped everything out. So it's holding all of these pieces together for me. I can save these. I don't have a huge mess on my desk of all the pieces. I think this is a really fun design. This is where I used a white outline of it. Now the double-sided adhesive sheets are going to come in handy so that you don't have to use liquid glue like I did to attach everything. That was what I originally did. Using double-sided sheets didn't hit me till later. This is one of the cards I created where I did the colors on the outside, so I only did some of the design with the colors, and it's kind of drawing your eye into the center of the card, which is where I have a flower there from the Primrose garden and then a small sentiment. Another card I did is where I focused it more towards the middle of the card. And once again, these designs are pointing to the center, which is such a perfect place to put your sentiment because the colors are drawing your eye to that center point. And then, of course, I could not leave out an ink blended panel. So I did do some ink blending with the brand new colors to create a background. And this was really quick and simple, other than this one having to use liquid glue to attach the frame to it. But the background is created with wild berry, watermelon, and creamsicle ink, and it is absolutely dreamy. I think it's probably my new favorite color combination for backgrounds. And then that panel, I finished off with the Happy Birthday sentiment, and that's off of the Versatile Greetings die set, which is right here. This is the new Versatile Greetings. You're getting 5 sentiments, all versatile, just like it states. I die cut these out of the brand new colors. You Are Amazing from Wildberry, Best Wishes from Grasshopper, Thinking of You from Creamsicle, Happy Birthday from Watermelon, and Hooray from Eucalyptus. So you get the scripty word and then also its shadow layer, so you can use both together or just the scripty word if you prefer. Here's the one I showed previously where I put that in the center point. That one was die cut out of the Wildberry. And then some of you know that I recently moved my craft space and I also went through my products and was doing a big de-stash. I went through my Concord 9th stuff and I ran into this rainbow and this cloudy background. I don't think I've ever used them, so I put it to use and I'm using these versatile sentiments with those backgrounds so I can combine these versatile sentiments with anything and make these really quick cards. I just wanted to show you how it's great that you can pair these with previously released products. It doesn't always have to be about the new stuff. The next set being released is the Bunch of Balloons set. So this is a stamp set, die set, and stencil that all work together. You could just do a stencil on its own, the stencil pack, but the stamp and die work together real nicely because Concord 9th really does a lot with their die sets. We do have coordinating dies for some of the sentiments, but then you also have balloons, you have stars. So they really put their die sets to great use that you can use outside of the stamp set. And then we have this stencil pack, and this is really great because you can get 3 different styles out of the one stencil pack. So there are a variety of stencils in here. There's a balloon wreath. You could do a full balloon background, or you could do Hooray. I do want to go back and touch on the stamp and die set just a little bit. Here are those sentiments that are stamped out in a variety of colors. And then I use the coordinating die and they provide a nice, margin from the stamped sentiment to the border. So very, very easy to line up these dies to die cut out the sentiments. Here is an example of the Hooray that I used, that stencil pack. So it's great for quick and easy cards. You could stamp a smaller sentiment on the bottom or use this as a backer for a shaker card. This is the balloon wreath that I think is super fun. And of course I did in a rainbow assortment of colors. And then this one creates a background full of balloons. So this one you may have seen previously where I did the balloon wreath. And then there is an image, an outline image of the balloon that you can stamp over the top along with the strings. It works best and looks, I think, the best if you offset that stamped balloon. And I don't know why it is, but when I try to purposely not align my stamps good, I get a good line. So for instance, this background here, I was trying to purposely offset my stamped balloon and I I couldn't do it. I couldn't screw up is what it was coming down to. They look really cool if you offset it. So I just want to point it out. You can do both, but the offsetting creates that little bit of a white line and gives it more of a playful look. And that brings me to the Primrose Garden bundle. And I think this one might be my favorite. So this one is a small stamp set, but it's packed with sentiments. And then you have this large die set. And what you can do with this large die set is create these card fronts or shaped card, but you can also use the elements individually on their own. So I quickly sped this up and I die cut all of the pieces out of various colors of cardstock. And I'm going to use the example on the back of the packaging. Those are such great guides to go off of. And I'm going to layer this up. So I started with the back piece is from eucalyptus. So I die cut out the shape. And then there is a piercing plate. So it's going to put a bunch of piercings in there. You can use that for a subtle background, or you can use it as a guide to line up your images. So there's different flowers in here you can cut from different colors of cardstock, and just start layering up your background and building it up until you get to your focal point, which is this flower. And as I mentioned, you can turn this into a shape card. So I do show that in a little more detail over on the Concord 9th YouTube channel, but this is where I used that die to create this shape, which I think is just kind of a nice, fun surprise for the recipient. Or you could take the panel and just add it right to the front of an A2 size card base. Now, I always do mine side folding, but this can absolutely be done top folding as well. And then the other card that I created is just using some of the elements. So I pulled out some of the leaves and the berries and that large flower and just used that to create an arrangement on the front of my card. And something as simple as adding a few cardstock strips and sentiment towards the bottom. Now with my flower, I only put a foam square in the center. So that way I can kind of pull up those petals a little bit and zhuzh it up. And then this is the card I showed earlier where I used that flower and I made it as a focal point for my Empire Inlay background. So another great way to just take some pieces from the die set and incorporate them with other projects. So that is a quick look at the brand new February 2024 release from Concord 9th and all of my cards that I created for it. I think there's 12 of them here. I loved playing with these products and those ink colors are absolutely gorgeous. I am a huge fan of the Concord 9th ink colors, so I'm really happy about this new edition. I will have a link to the brand new release listed down below in the video description. I'm also going to have some close-up pictures over on my blog, also linked in the video description. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you again real soon.